Because I had to coach I had no competition, so I had to coach my competition.
We were flying out there to be a part of history, to be a part of a historic event.
So I mean, they flashed the bat signal.
If I was going to do it, it was going to be done to death.
But soon as in Njozi, we're gonna go wild.
I was like, "You're going to use a situation where I almost died?" You remember you said that?
Like, and I still don't like the idea of being judged on my art, or
Yeah, 3 minutes and 10 seconds to get your poem out.
Buffalo was definitively split in two. There was the artistic community of Allentown and the Elmwood Village to North Buffalo. Outside of the African American Cultural Center, there were not many venues on the East Side, besides being a community that found itself held in the ills that come with poverty. The East Side is also the place where 10 souls lost their lives to unexplained violence. So that was the challenge when Ntari Ali Galt started the Njozi organization.
The Njozi Slam started when we had been producing several events. We had Njozi magazine. We wanted to promote the magazine, and so we were planning on using events. None of those worked out. I mean, like from Buffalo, Rochester, they were all failing. So our last ditch effort was, let's put up a poetry slam, and maybe with the poetry slam, we'll start getting the notice that we wanted.
The Njozi Poetry Slam began on December 3rd, 2000 at the MT Coffee Cup Cafe on the east side of Buffalo, created by Ntari Ali Galt, Eric J. Rosser, and Jerome Williams Jr., the publishing staff of Njozi magazine. The Njozi Slam went on to become a popular region-wide event that soon attracted top slam poets from around the country. This is the story of how Buffalo's East Side found its collective artistic voice through spoken word. The Poetry Slam was developed in Chicago, Illinois by poet Mark Smith in 1986. He chose the word slam because he felt the words should sound like a construction site, resembling his non-artistic work. Smith liked the performance aspect of the open mic poetry scene he had started and added the competition component to it. Though criticized by poetry purists, audiences loved it. Poetry slams quickly spread across the nation.
At the time, I was a sophomore at NYU, and a new cafe, a poetry cafe, had just opened in the Bowery, called the Bowery Poetry Cafe. This would have been after 9/11.
First competition was an Open Wednesday Slam about a month later.
You know, I'm not really sure that I remember.
I did was a small local slam.
So my first slam I've ever did was something I did while I was at Buff State.
my first slam was the Tri-City Slam. It was Buffalo, Cleveland, and Detroit. It was held at Ujima Theater. We rocked the house. We ended up winning, but we won every round. I think we got perfect scores from every judge every round.
The first slam that I ever competed in was in Philadelphia.
First one was at Cleveland State University, but the first win, it was at the Kamikaze.
It was so new. Sawdust was still on the floors.
And I remember I had such bad cotton mouth, I could barely talk.
I received an email about the slam, and at the time, I didn't even know what a slam was.
others competing, and I decided I would compete also.
At a little coffee house called the Topic Cafe. It was in Allentown, and I did horrible. I didn't prepare. I didn't know anything about a slam, so I just jumped into it.
It was a fun time. It was a slam that I didn't want to do.
Talent show slam type thing. That was my first taste of slam poetry.
At the national poetry slams that were happening, you could see clips of that on YouTube. And I do remember being intrigued by that and wanting to be a part of it.
And I did win.
And suddenly it was this roar from the crowd and just applause. And I got the first 10s of the night. And
so that was my first slam. And of course I lost. I think I came in dead last.
For me, slamming really didn't start till I was doing Hottest Poets.
Remember that. Okay. What I do remember is seeing other people do it and wanting to be a part of it.
My first slam that I participated in was in Toronto for Battle at the Border, and that was Toronto versus New York versus Buffalo.
And I got to the event and found out that I could be in the event. So I just signed up. I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was signing up for. And
it was not good.
I was not ready for all the smoke. I had been producing them, so this was my first time participating with some hot talent.
Rivers raise the blaze cascades against my skin with no slicing or slivering as I reveal the truth to the masses of unsanctified collection of holy
have the biggest bomb, blow it down, blow it now. I found the box cutters and planes using a terrorist plot. The country was jacked and somebody got.
You know, like, and then it was like, okay, I don't have any room. You know, like, I'm nervous. You know, like, everybody's right on top of you. And this is my first slam. Go.
Ntari Ali Galt is a native of the east side of Buffalo. After performing at open mics throughout the Allentown section of Buffalo, he wished to produce poetry events on his side of town. Eventually, Galt started the Njozi Poetry Slam. Before long, he partnered with organizations in Toronto, Cleveland, Rochester, and Syracuse, among other cities, while making Buffalo a hub of artistic activity.
Single unified community. And I don't think there is a single unified community, but there are a whole bunch of locuses of interest.
This is like embarrassing as a New Yorker. I know how segregated Buffalo is, like a lot of American cities. For some reason, I literally in my head was like, was that in Buffalo? That was in Buffalo.
Yeah. This was history, heritage, and culture converging.
I want to, credit you in the way that you should be credited. That the power of what you folks were doing 25 years ago woke me up to the fact that this scene had to be covered. No one else was covering it. With what you did with Njozi, you created a sense of community.
To our surprise, where we expected about 20 to 30 people, we ended up with 120 some people.
Yeah. So I think Buffalo Slam community for me was very much colored by the scene that you had already helped to create.
You're the coaching tree for all these young people. They have some sort of connection to you.
Like, Buffalo is an artist community, but it's a weird artist community. I wasn't seeing Black artists in Buffalo doing anything that was really getting anybody's attention.
Particular. So when we would do the slams where we were going against people from other cities, it felt like an important competition, not just for me, but as a Buffalonian, as a girl from the east side of the Below.
Name just holds weight. I remember telling people, come, we're going to be at Ujima, and just telling people, well, who are y'all competing against? And you say the name, they go, how?
Unsure of how to mend, I further damaged myself. Picked up razor blades, called them grace, raced them across my mocha skin.
And I think we did a jazz piece, where we all were different instruments, and we made music with our mouths instead of the actual instruments.
Heartbeat faded and changed into a snare. Soul destroyed, incinerated, cremated, served, chill. Love ripped from my heart, mind.
Well received and well loved and well praised, and got to Buffalo and was like, okay. That's killed over internationally. What do you mean? So it was either we weren't that hot or just you really had a hold on that Buffalo crowd. But soon as in Njozi, we're going to go wild.
Like, y'all set a foundation, not necessarily our place.
I think the other thing that made the stakes feel high to me was, again, being from Buffalo. I mean, the audience was usually people I knew.
Nobody's got the words to set me free like freedom. And not that 5 and dime store march until our feet get sore type of freedom, but real freedom like that day when I was 5 years old. And the sky opened up and the rain came down, but the sun was still out. So I kicked off my shoes and I danced in the street for hours and all the traffic stopped just for me. At least that's how I remember it.
There was always this little energy, okay? And like I said, you know, in my opinion, it seemed to me you saw him as the petulant little brother, you know, that you know is full of himself now. So that to me was the energy. All right. Now, was I directly connected to the energy? No. So I mean, they flashed the bat signal, and as Brother Earl comes, you know, that to me is what made the Buffalo Slam different.
So, you know, when we connected and you were like, yo, let's try to, you know, figure out things that we could do. I'm like, all right, finally. Okay. Somebody on the wavelength of trying to like make some things happen. That's right. And I remember
that. Well, I tell you, man, the energy to Buffalo that first time was really electric. Obviously, Mo and Jive telling me about the slam and that, you know, we got to go up there and do work.
I made a joke one time that I used to babysit him. I never like literally babysat him.
Right.
His mother and my mother used to work, but I told that joke that I hit him wrong. Right. And what I thought was like a little innocent joke went left real fast. Like, so this rivalry started that I didn't really know about. The culture that I wanted to create, I didn't want to create a culture of hierarchy. Yes, I'm the head of the group, but I was mad anytime I ever had to say that I'm the head of the group.
No.
If I had to say that, it was probably that person was about to be out of the group.
You were lead and coordination. Mm-hmm. You were not dictator or king. You listened to what we had to say.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I had to coach I had no competition, so I had to coach my competition. Like, what's the quirk that you have? What is something that you have that nobody else has? Erica is an excellent preacher.
Slamming became an approach to performance, to public speaking. I did like preaching, like Ain't She Brave.
See, for a long time, you thought you were gods of industry, but God's got a way of humbling you and me.
Erica, the preacher. Wow.
I worked with her to bring out her preaching style, and because she's like,
that.
She's like, I do that in church.
Professionalism. I think sometimes because we were so good, people thought it was easy. You know, we made that thing look easy.
Being myself while building a nation, working and playing hard, keeping it clean with no room for genuine in my jeans. Working with you, for you, on you, in you, around you, above and below.
That was an incredible experience. I broke my shoe that night.
Because you stomped your foot.
I stomped my foot twice, but I think it broke on the first stomp.
The reason why Buffalo was different is because there was a personal connection attached. There wasn't that under the surface energy. Like, now, to be honest with you, most of the slams, even though they were just as competitive, if not more, they didn't have that personal energy that was there. That's what made Buffalo different.
Oh, well, the QEW was definitely special. And it was something that we were able to do a couple years. You built a relationship with those same poets because the same people came back for the most part.
Poems that you wrote about your own lives, and then you like got drunk afterwards and hung out till way too late, and then maybe missed your flight, and then now you're friends forever. Like, I'm confused. You know what I mean? And to us that makes sense, but to nobody else does that make sense.
The reporters rushed to make sense of this for me, who told me to start asking questions and thinking for myself. Dr. CNN got pissed and tightened up the belt, grabbed my arm and stuck in an IV and pumped.
Yeah, so I mean, the Battle of the Border, I think it was great to have people that you could work with on the organizational level. Doing this slam in a bookstore, and I think maybe 25 chairs went out. Maybe the bookstore is so small and so many people showed up. You arrived at the bookstore, you couldn't even see inside because it's just condensation. There was no place for the poets. The poets had to be like waiting outside. The stage ended up being where the cash register is. If we knew it was going to be that popular, we would have planned something different and a different venue.
Wait out here. We walked outside and it was raining. This is our green room.
Hieroglyphs to poems through word of mouth, and deaf poets or those claiming to be know it inside and out. Profit margin, the choice between mainlining Dolomite or Gil.
Buffalo's just a tough crowd. Just all the way around anyway. It's just a tough crowd.
I ain't let lyrical force and wind times within. I condemn your lyrical challenge to get in the game with the power. You want to get him back? Wait. Wait. Hold on, wait. Oh, we just playing.
Tough crowd. Buffalo was the first city to really make me feel, it knocked me off my high. Because when I'm in my own city, you do things and it's like everything you touch is gold.
My DNA as an athlete, I'm getting ready to compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's time to put these hands up. I got some words to swing.
And I still don't like the idea of being judged on my art. Or
special. I trusted you to do the right thing, but you only did what I let you in. I let you in through a revolving door, thinking I had no right to ask you.
And I'll say this for anybody, because I don't think poetry is meant to literally be like scored.
I can see that, how competitive it felt. Like maybe I'm competitive in other ways, because I wanted to be my best, and I was my only competition that would get me from round to round. So that's a competitive spirit too.
And he's like one of the top poets of Buffalo, and then and he didn't mention my name. Yo, I'm like, did you forget it? He's like, oh, we don't count you anymore because of your strokes. I was like, you're going to use a situation where I almost died? You remember you said that?
Ultimately, it would be up to the judges. Mm-hmm. I do the best I could, and then I leave it.
Emotion of it. So it's like, oh yeah, that's a 10, or no, that's a 5, and like you get caught up in that stuff. But
I went to his venue where he had a winning streak going, and the slam master said, like, "Oh, you ready for your monthly prize?" I looked at him. I looked at the slam master. I was like, "Not tonight."
If I was going to do it, then I wanted to compete against the best, and I wanted to put my best foot forward. So
it was and continues to be an honor. You performed your best with some of the best, and you bested them.
And I don't do slam poems. Right. I don't consider myself to be a slam poet. I do poems, and I figure out a way to say them and things like that would be good for a slam audience.
Oh yeah, I would say that. I certainly was no Mike Tyson of poetry. But I will say this. It took me a long time to fully embrace that there is a part of my personality that is competitive.
30 some odd years later, I'm still slamming. So I love it. I love the competition.
The only thing I enjoyed more than winning was honestly when we would slam as a team.
Ntari and the Njozi Poetry Slam found opposition from a new organization called the Nickel City Poetry Slam in 2005. They worked to send the team to the National Poetry Slam scheduled for Austin, Texas in 2006. Instead of fighting a much larger and much better financed organization, Ntari competed for and won a spot on the Buffalo team to the organizers' dismay. Once in Austin, Ntari networked with many slam poets at the national level.
Was like, I competed in it, and I made the first team, and that's actually when I met you down in Austin.
Yes,
so I competed in it, but they were really mad when I competed.
Me and Jamal May. Can we talk about? Can I tell you that was the wildest slam I think I've ever been in? Do you remember after the first round? I feel like I was like almost in last after the first round. Like that crowd was not feeling me at all. I feel the crowd, and he was like, he had the crowd in the palm of his hand. But
And I know the cops' original mission was to protect and serve, and they did. They served him as cargo. 3 shells on the ground, 3 slugs in his back, and then they protected the pension plan without even mentioning the fact that these.
But I was like, I wasn't looking at the clock. I was like, I was so fully immersed in it. I was like, he's won. It's over.
Let me tell you, you'll always be checking his language, checking his tone, checking the clock, see what time you got home, checking his phone, checking his voicemail, checking email, checking text messages, check, and you're a winner! Check!
And then you were like, the score is a 30, but, and everyone's like, oh, points.
What was so
and
funny,
I feel like I won by like 1/10. Is impossible to ignore.
Now they just kill mothers with silent poison, stain their loyalty and love in their veins, and suffocate them with genocide. Rewan's father hung himself from a box because he thought his son was a.
So I had this T-shirt that said "Black Nerds Unite."
Nicki Minaj, this is Gabby Douglas with a balancing beat, balancing little black girls' hopes and dreams.
The honor, I think, of being the first woman to win that came later. It was really about competing at my best, slamming and being a performer and having to just stand and deliver again and again, night after night. Those miles did make me.
The legacy of the Njozi Poetry Slam is that powerful slam poets came from around the country and southern Ontario to compete on the east side of Buffalo, New York. They made theater, film, and television appearances. They've performed for President Barack Obama at the White House and made national appearances. The Njozi Poetry Slam did make history, and it was an experience.
My name is Erica Galt. My maiden name is Erica Haygood, and I am originally from Rochester, New York.
My name is Carlos Andres Gomez. I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm a performer from New York City. And
my name is Takia Nur Amin, native of Buffalo, New York, raised on the east side of the city.
Stacey Alexis Cameron, formerly Stacey Alexis Turner, original member of the Njozi Poets.
Sanchez, the Black Rican from Cleveland, Ohio, poetry extraordinaire, as I like to think of myself.
I'm Bob Pohl, but my writer's name is R.D. Pohl. I'm a writer, journalist for 36 years. I covered the literary scene with a weekly feature in the Buffalo News.
Earl Majette, aka Brother Earl, spoken word artist out of Harlem.
Hi, I'm Monique Murphy, known as Anika Moore. That's who I am.
Other hats. So I am Dwayne Morgan, spoken word artist, event producer, photographer, curator out of Toronto, Canada.
Yes, my name is Intari Ali Galt, and I'm the organizer and the founder of the Njozi Poetry Slam.
I got a sermon there. Yeah, no.
I was telling my wife, I was like, when did Earl and I become friends? Because I was like, I didn't really like Earl.
That's how I felt. I felt explosive.
But yeah,
Alexis Cameron, formerly Stacey Alexis Turner, OG member of Njozi.
Okay. But I need you to
about the art and the game and just life for grown ass men at our age and stage, man.
Nobody invites me to compete anymore. They don't want this smoke. No.
I competed. Oh, so that was the second time. Because there was a time that we came, I had got a filet of fish sandwich. Like, I'm itching. I don't know what's going on. And I couldn't even compete. I just want to get back home.
I was like, oh, he's actually kind of cool. And then you almost went onto my uncool list just as fast as because as soon as you left, my mother said, he's handsome. Like, hey, Ma.
I prefer to call it, fossil in residence. So
I'm Buffalo via the Bronx, baby.
I don't know how we went to all this laughing, and then you're like,
I'm trying to think. Oh Oh boy. Oh, the years roll on.
No, that's not going to end up in the documentary.
And I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm fine with that. You know, but